afternoon, you go to school all day, and now you're sitting here in another class. And it really isn't a class. I really want this to be more of a discussion. Hey, come on in. Anywhere you want to sit. Thanks for being here. So I appreciate your time, and it speaks to you and also your coaches and your parents' dedication to helping you become a better athlete. Not only a better performer, but helping you enjoy the experience more. Because I know that if you are adequately fueled and you're performing well and you're feeling good, you're going to enjoy the experience way more than if you're malnourished in some way. Okay, malnourished doesn't have to be, the skinny little kid that you see on TV and like an advertisement. It just means that you're not getting the nutrients that you need so you can perform at your best. Okay, so that's kind of why I'm here, is just to help you be your best and feel your best. And really what I want is for you guys just to be able to ask any questions that you have, and hopefully this time is well spent for you. Alright? So, without any further ado, also, I would encourage you to type in your phone or jot down some questions that you have as I go. So if I kind of blaze through and you don't have a chance to ask it, you can ask it at the end so you don't forget. And I also wrote my contact information up there. If you don't want to ask it in front of everyone, if you just have questions like that to me personally, you can always contact me. Okay? So I'm Lindsay, strength and conditioning coach here at Pooter. I was an athlete at one point in time. I still like to consider myself an athlete. I enter a competition every now and again. Most people look at me and they think I played rugby or something. I don't really know what I think when people say that, but I was actually a distance runner. So I've experienced the ups and downs of poor nutrition and finally found what works for me. And so that's one thing I would like to open up with too, is you literally could find 17 different nutritionists to tell you 17 different things about what it means to be healthy, and they all have degrees, right? So nutrition is kind of one of those frustrating things because every human body is different, so every human's nutrition is going to be a little bit different. So what works really well for me isn't going to be exactly what you need to do, okay? But some of the principles are the same across the board, and so those are hopefully what I'm going to give you tonight, right? I'm sorry. It's ironic I'm giving you this presentation on health because I'm sick right now, but that's all right. We'll deal with it. Okay, first and foremost, as an athlete, okay, you are this, okay? If you treat your body like this, you will perform like that, right? So as an athlete especially, you have to put high quality fuel in the tank so that you can round those corners, you can go really fast, you can be fine-tuned, and perform at your very best. I like this analogy a lot. It's just a good one to have in your head. What are you treating your body like? Are you putting fuel in the tank, from McDonald's, putting the empty French fry grease in your fuel tank, trying to perform at a high level and getting mad at yourself when you don't? Or are you truly fueling the fire with some good fuel? Okay? And how do you want to feel? Right? Do you want to feel lethargic and just kind of blah and bored and lackluster? Do you want to feel frantic, like you have no control, and you're just sliding around trying to just stay on your feet? That's not a good feeling either. I don't know about you, but as an athlete, I want to feel like this. I want to feel confident, calm, powerful, full of energy, motivated, chomping at the bit to toe the line of competition, because I know my body has what it takes to win or to just do my best. That's how I want to feel. Ready and resilient. Resilient to injury and basically resilient to my own head. I want to feel confident and ready all the time. And food actually has the power to do that. Okay, a couple more principles here. Your body is a temple. I like to think that you should protect it from within and without. Okay, so what you put in it matters, right? What do you expose it to matters. If you think about it, your skin is like an open passageway to the inside of your body. So really every environment you put yourself in impacts your physical health. All right? So muscular development, when you guys work out with me in the weight room, you're protecting your body from outside forces. Really good example of that is on the football field, right? If you put this gangly, little, weak person out on the football field against big, muscular, powerful dudes, it's not going to go well for you. You're going to come off hurt and broken, right? You haven't protected yourself from those forces. If a distance runner exposes their body to the repetitive force of the pounding motion over and over and over for miles and miles and miles throughout their career, but hasn't protected their bones from destruction, then they're going to get injured. Well, nutrition protects your body from within. Okay? So it's equally as important. I would argue even more important. Right? I had a coach tell me recently, you can't die from exercising, really. I mean, it's rare. Right? You can't get Alzheimer's disease from working out, and you can't get cancer from working out, but poor nutrition will do all those things. Right? So it's like, oh yeah, nutrition is actually the most important of everything in terms of our ability to compete at a high level. Okay? So I kind of want to give you a little bit of my background to explain who's talking to you and why I have any credibility whatsoever. Because I'm not a nutritionist. I didn't major in this. Okay? I just have a lot of experience, and I've done everything wrong, so I can tell you what not to do. And I've also finally figured it out, so I can tell you what works. Okay? This is a picture of me in high school. Okay? I was a really good distance runner. I was in the newspaper all the time. They were comparing me to the Olympian that came from my state. I was like, I think, one of the top freshmen in the state of California, which the state of California is pretty big. And as a high school recruit to colleges, I was one of the top recruits in the country. And I just say that not for you to think I'm cool, because I'm really not. But
yeah, you are really
not that cool. But I got there in a really bad way, and so it wasn't sustainable, and I ended up being miserable. You could see I was a little skinnier back then. Okay, I actually ended up in the hospital. I was pretty anorexic. I never get diagnosed as being anorexic, but I had all the symptoms, right? My hair fell out, I got sick, I collapsed on the course, that kind of thing. I purposely didn't eat, and it worked for a little while. People make weird comments too that kind of are gratifying, like, oh, you look good, like, oh, you look fit. Like, no, you just can see my muscles because I don't have any fat. It's not that they're big, right? And I got fast for a little while because I was really light, but this is my natural body type, not that. So it wasn't very sustainable, and I got really sick. Ended up in the hospital. So that obviously didn't work. So I experienced the route of trying to restrict what I put in my body in an effort to perform better. It didn't work. And I can tell you right now, if anybody's struggling with that end of the spectrum, it is never about the food, and it's not really about performance either. It's usually about something else going on in your head. For me, it was just about controlling something about my life. You can control what you put in your body and what you don't. And it was during a time when my home life wasn't very good. My parents were going through a divorce. And so for me, that was like this frantic attempt to still prove that I was worthwhile. I was like, well, I could be really fast, and I could be really skinny, and I could be good at it. And I was, but not for very long. Because this was me in college, okay? What? I go from this to this, okay? I was super overweight. As a distance runner, that is not what a distance runner looks like, okay? And part of that is because I got injured, and I went in the weight room a lot, and I gained a lot of muscle mass, but that is not all muscle mass. I'm wearing a Pac-10 jersey at a really amazing school. I loved every second of it, but I wasn't very successful during my college career because I struggled with eating. I struggled with my nutrition. Okay, I never got it right in college until the very end. And because of that, I would binge eat. So when you start to not eat very much, you start to feel hungry all the time. Okay, or even if you're eating enough, but it's the wrong thing. You're not getting the right calories, your body goes into this survival mode, and so you frantically grab at everything you can. And ironically, the thing I used to control something in my life quickly became the thing I had no control over, and it sabotaged my entire athletic career. It sucked. Okay, this is what is most important to me. So that didn't work. Okay, so now there's two things that didn't work. Okay, but finally what I figured out, all right, is that it was never about the food. It was about who I was and what was making me tick. Okay, I had to get to the point where I realized, hey, food is just something that I need to get me to do what I love to do and do it well. It's not this thing that I can manipulate to control something in my life. It's nothing that makes me happy or sad. It's just food. It's a necessary component of life. You have to fuel yourself, right? And I started to view myself a little bit differently, and I got it figured out. And now I'm really happy to say I have a healthy relationship with food, and I eat what I need to, and I've figured it out for myself what makes me feel good and what doesn't. It's not super tempting to me to go off that path very much because I know that it doesn't work, right? And this is a picture of me a couple years ago. Probably one of my best competitions that I've ever been in. That was a running event. It was a 2.5 mile trail run with a weight vest, and it was up at a ski resort, so it was all up the ski slopes. And you know, that picture means a lot to me because I was 100% confident that I was going to crush it, and I did. I won. I beat everybody. Okay, but I knew I was going to, and I put that on there because this version of myself was not confident. This version of myself was trembling at the starting line, even though I was really good. This version of myself was miserable. Hated my sport because it was like shoving a square peg in a round hole. It just wasn't clicking. Didn't feel good anymore. Wasn't passionate. This version of myself, when I had it all figured out, I was that tiger. Calm, confident, ready to kick some butt. Right? So that's where I want you guys to be. Who cares whether or not you win? I want you to feel like that. And that's what we're here for. Okay? Alright. I like that phrase, never waste your tragedies, never hoard your triumphs. That's why I'm here. I've had a lot of tragedies. I'm not going to waste them. I'm going to use them to make you better. I've had some triumphs along the way too, and I'm going to use those to make you better as well. Okay, so number one, you have to give your body what it needs to perform to your own expectations. If I said, Jordan, come up here and build a tower, I want you to build a tower this tall. It needs to be a strong tower. But I only give you like 3 Legos. Are you going to be able to do it? Jordan, build the dang tower. I told you to build a tower this tall. Why can't you do it? So what? Do it. I told you to do it. That's what we do to ourselves all the time. We have these giant expectations of ourselves, but we don't give our body what it needs to do it, right? And we get so mad and frustrated, and we're just like sometimes crying over it, just like, gosh, I tried so hard, I worked so hard. Well, you didn't give yourself what you needed. So how do you expect to do that, right? You gotta give your body what it needs to perform. First of all, you gotta know what it needs to perform. Okay, first thing is carbohydrates. We got a bunch of stuff out there right now about low carb diets. Okay, the paleo diet or no carb diet. First of all, there is no such thing as a no carb diet. That's called death. Okay? I mean, it is. You have to eat carbohydrates, right? Your body, anything you do requires a carbohydrate. Okay? So you have to eat them. So don't be afraid of them. All right? All of them actually break down to the same thing, and it's just glucose in your blood. So whether you eat a donut or a Snickers bar or an apple or a potato or a sandwich, eventually it's all gonna end up as glucose in your blood, okay? The difference is how fast that carbohydrate source breaks down, because if it breaks down really fast and absorbs really fast, your body can't process it all at once, and so it stores it as fat, okay? So that's the part that's different. We need carbohydrates. They all end up the same, but sometimes they get stored if they break down too fast and we're not using them up, okay? So here's the difference. And none of them are bad, okay? We just have to focus more on some than the other. So simple carbohydrates are the ones that break down really fast and whoop, they go right in your blood and yee, we're all excited and energized for like 30 seconds, okay? So really good to eat right before you compete, right? No. Or right before you work out. Simple carbohydrates, absorb really fast, boom, I can use that right now, okay? That's why, you know, marathon runners will carry those little shot blocks, those little jelly beans, pop them in every once in a while, because they just need a little something to absorb into their blood right away, okay? Drink a little bit of Gatorade mixed with water before your competition. It's because you just need a little bit of sugar in there that absorbs right away, okay? If you hide in your room at night and eat 47 Snickers bars, and what happens to that carbohydrate? It absorbs right away. You feel disgusting because your head is like spinning because you just ate a ton of sugar that's absorbed in your bloodstream and it's like going crazy, and then it gets stored because your body is actually genius and it's used to being able to protect itself and survive, and it's saying, well, we can't use this right now, so let's just save it because we might need it later. Except for in this day and age, normally we don't need it later because we're just going to eat again, right? So those are the things to be a little bit more careful about. More complex carbohydrates are better because they break down slower. So starchier foods, okay, and fibrous foods like vegetables and whole grains, we say are longer lasting carbohydrates. They don't take as they take longer to break down, so they're not going to be stored as easily as fat, and you'll feel kind of energized for longer periods of time. So for me, to be honest, I don't eat very much fruit. I eat fruit for the vitamins, but I don't eat very much of it, and maybe I have like 1 or 2 servings of fruit. Not two. I probably have maybe one servings of fruit a day. I really don't eat very much fruit. I eat a ton of vegetables though, and I know that's not very popular, but I'm being honest. Sometimes athletes have to do things that are not fun. Working out sometimes is not fun, but we do it, right? Eating lots of broccoli sometimes isn't that fun, but I do it, right? And it's worked for me, okay? So I limit my fruit. Most of my carbohydrates come from vegetables, and I eat a lot of sweet potatoes, a little bit of other stuff, but that's pretty much it for me for carbohydrates, all right? Sometimes rice. It's not bad to eat bread, it's really not, but, you know, stick to the whole grain stuff if you can. Okay. Really stay away from high fructose corn syrup, please. Okay, a little quick look at food labels, because sometimes they can be misleading. Typically, lower fat items, this was a craze for a long time in the 80s and 90s. Oh, we're gonna eat low fat. Kind of my mom and my parents are still a little bit bought into this idea that if you eat low fat, then you're not gonna be fat. It's actually not true, okay? You actually have to eat fat to burn fat. So if you're not eating fat, most likely you're storing fat. It's really weird, but it's true. Okay, and usually low-fat stuff, it tastes like crap. So what do they put more of in it? Sugar. Which is stored as? Fat. Go figure. Okay. So I actually pick really high-fat food items, and it makes me feel full, and it makes me crave less sugary stuff. This is a really easy way to avoid. Here's someone who's trying to maybe kind of lose some, what I call non-contributive tissue, right? It's not contributing to your performance at all. If you cut out some of this stuff, it's just like amazing, right? An instant impact. Adults cutting out alcohol will do the same thing, okay? And I'm not saying you have to cut out Starbucks Frappuccinos forever from your life, but if you have one every morning, right? Let's see, 66 grams of sugar. It is. If you weighed that out, you would have like a couple full Dixie cups of sugar. Can you imagine taking those every morning and just... But that's what you're doing, and it absorbs into your bloodstream right away. Do you think your body can handle 66 grams of carbohydrates instantaneously? No, it can't. Okay? So even just like simple things. It's not like you have to be miserable and like never eat anything tasty, but just being a little bit more careful about your beverages even can help. Okay? Plus those things don't make you feel very good. It's just a funny thing. Okay. I'm going to speak a little bit to artificial sweeteners because a lot of people think like, oh, I know that sugar is not very good for me, so I'll just get sugar-free. But turns out, they've done a lot of studies where it's actually worse because it's more addictive than sugar. So artificial sweeteners are chemically sweeter than sugar, and so when you get used to that super sugary taste of the Diet Coke or the sugar-free yogurt or the sugar-free coffee, okay, then you actually stop noticing real sweet flavor. So if you eat an apple, you're gonna be like, this is disgusting, it tastes like nothing, right? And really, if you hadn't desensitized yourself to sugar, it would be satisfying to eat an apple. It would be really sweet. But we're kind of chemically desensitizing ourselves to things that are naturally sweet. Also makes you crave more. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, is like, I know that artificial sweeteners like aren't good, but also like putting a ton of sugar in things isn't good. So like, what is like the best way to do it? Because like, I don't like drinking black coffee, but like,
Personally, I just put sugar in it.
just put
Yeah.
less.
Just wean yourself off a little bit. Like maybe you don't put 7 teaspoons of sugar in there, but you put a little bit, and I would just put sugar instead of artificial sweeteners. It's better to just put normal sugar in there. Yeah, honestly, it is.
What about honey versus sugar?
Honey, it'll do the same thing. It's the same. It'll still absorb into your bloodstream fast, and your body handles it the same as sugar. But there's other health benefits to honey that maybe make it more worth it, like resistance to allergies and stuff like that. So I still like using honey. Yeah. Good question. Okay. This is crazy to me. Sugar is more addicting than cocaine, which is why we really shouldn't villainize ourselves or beat ourselves up for the fact that we're addicted to this stuff, because it is addicting, right? We know that a cocaine addict, it's really hard for them to become unaddicted to cocaine, okay? And if sugar is even more addicting to cocaine, then you can imagine the struggle that we're under, right? I had to go through that. I was like super addicted to sugar for a while. And now when I eat something really sweet, it almost kind of makes me like, oh, But it's because I was so addicted I didn't realize, right? So my point is like, don't feel bad about yourself. Like it's very addicting. It's hard to stop kind of craving that. Okay. Okay, so there's a few questions. Which is healthier? Just the normal one. It really is. You'll probably be more likely to stop after one. Which is healthier? Obviously, but why? Everyone always says that. Who cares if it's natural or unnatural? It's sugar. It all ends up glucose in your blood, so what's the difference?
There's fiber in it.
There's fiber in the strawberries. They break down slower. Okay? And also, what else is in a strawberry?
Vitamins.
Vitamins. Yeah. So it's not like they're evil, right? They still have really good things. Which is healthier?
One on the right.
Oatmeal. There's fiber, more nutrients, takes longer to digest. Which is healthier? Just a straight up banana. Okay? There's probably like 5 times as much sugar in the smoothie as there is in the banana, and they've already digested the smoothie for you by blending it up. right? So you're pretty much just sucking sugar into your blood. Is it bad to go to Jamba Juice or get a smoothie every once in a while? No, it's not. Berry blends, wherever you guys go. Not bad, but every day, probably not great. PBJ or chicken and sweet potatoes? Chicken and sweet potatoes, right? There's protein, complex carbohydrates. It's awesome. Oatmeal raisin cookie or one of those frosted.
Which tastes better? Which tastes better?
Okay. Don't get me wrong, I like those every once in a while. But if I'm trying to pick the healthier one, I pick that one. I still get to eat a cookie, but it's still a little bit better. Greek yogurt, full fat, or Dannon light and fit, sugar free.
Dannon.
Some people freak out by that because they see it and they're like, it has 16 grams of fat in it. But that's so good for you. Okay, it is not bad for you. It will make you feel full, and it has a less sugar effect than the artificial sweetener yogurt. Okay. This is a trick question. Which is the best one? Alright, I'm just going to say everything eggs. You could say any of them depending on the situation, right? When I was in the hospital in high school and I was super dehydrated, they gave me some apple juice because it had carbohydrates that my body really needed to recover quickly. Okay? Gatorade has electrolytes in it, so if you water it down, so you're not just drinking straight syrup, it's really good for sports performance. Okay? There's nothing wrong with sparkling water. There's been this information out there that it like breaks down your bones. No, it doesn't. Okay? Milk, great. It's a great recovery beverage. Chocolate milk is fine right after a workout. Has a really good blend of carbohydrates and protein. Should you pound chocolate milk 24/7? Yes. No. All right, so that's carbohydrates. Necessary for life. Do you have a question? You just stretching? Just going like this? Okay, good. All right, next up, protein. Okay. Thing that you need to know about protein because, you know, not all protein is the same. All right? There's 20 amino acids, and these are basically the little Legos that build protein molecules. Okay? And you need all of them. So complete protein sources are the ones that have all 20 amino acids in one package. Okay? So you don't have to worry about blending. They have them all in one package. Okay? So those come from animals. All right? So meat, fish, dairy comes from an animal. Okay? Eggs. There are a few plant source complete proteins, which is kind of cool for vegetarians, although you have to eat a lot of it. Okay? Quinoa, buckwheat, heavy chia seeds, spirulina have complete proteins too. But you're not going to pound, you know, a pound of hemp protein, most likely. So you have to be kind of careful about that. Some incomplete protein sources. So these you have to, they don't have all 20 amino acids, so you have to blend more than one of them together. Are here. So nuts and seeds, legumes are like beans, okay? So a lot of dishes like rice and beans, you would normally eat those together anyways, and that makes a complete protein. So a lot of vegetarians eat a lot of rice and beans, okay? Maybe some spinach with almonds on it. Hummus and whole grain pita bread. Okay, so you can mix foods together that are plant-based to get complete proteins. The hard part comes where a lot of those plant-sourced proteins are carbohydrates as well. And that's what happened when I tried to be a vegetarian. I ended up eating way too many carbohydrates, and it actually made me gain weight really fast. So you just have to be careful about the protein sources that you are choosing. Yes. What? Oh, sorry. Lucille, I can send this to you. I'm just going to give it to you, okay? All right. So here's some important information for you. Endurance athletes, in general, okay, this is a general statement, you need about 1 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Don't worry, I'll explain how to calculate that. Okay. Power athletes like football, basketball, sprinters, that kind of athlete, all right? Cheerleading, I would say, is that too. You guys need 1.4 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, okay? If you're somebody who's trying to lean down, reduce that non-contributive tissue, increase your lean muscle mass, you actually have to eat more protein, okay? That's counterintuitive. You're trying to lose weight, I need to eat more protein. It's true, okay? Because the more muscle mass you can put on, more lean muscle you can put on, the faster your metabolism is going to run, the easier it is for your body to burn fat. Okay? So that freaks a lot of people out because they're thinking, I'm eating more. Surely I'm going to weigh more. Okay? First of all, it doesn't matter what you weigh. I weigh a lot. Doesn't mean I'm fat. Okay? It means I have a lot of lean muscle mass. Right? So I'll show you an example of that in a second. Okay. Best timing for protein is within 30 minutes after your exercise. Okay. And function of the protein is to heal that tissue that you just broke down in your workout. Yeah.
Not per day, but
Per day. Yeah. Per day. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of that. Well, that's just why. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use me as an example. I weigh 165 pounds. Maybe 170 now. I don't know. Okay. So that means my protein requirement, and I would consider myself a power athlete now. Okay. Used to be an endurance athlete. I'm a power athlete now. So I need about 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of my own body weight. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So that means I weigh 75 kilograms. Okay? So 75 times 1.6 means I need roughly 120 grams of protein per day. And that's just me normally. That's not me trying to lose weight. If I was me trying to lose weight, I'd need more. Okay? 20 to 40 grams of that needs to be consumed right after I work out. So that's like a snack. Okay? So let's just play with this a little bit. Let's say for breakfast, I have 3 eggs. That's not all I eat, but that's the protein that I eat. Okay? That's 18 grams of protein right there. Now let's say I have a leftover chicken breast at lunch, because that's what I had for dinner the night before, and I just threw it in my bag. Okay? That's roughly 43 grams of protein. It's kind of a big one. You guys probably don't eat that much. I eat a lot. Okay? Let's say I have a peanut butter jelly sandwich right after I work out. That's about 8 grams of protein, a couple tablespoons of peanut butter lathered on there. Okay, and I have a steak at dinner because somebody likes me and made me a steak. Okay? I would like that to be true. That means my total protein content, without even taking any supplements, was 131 grams. 120. So I really didn't need to take any supplements throughout the day. I just ate food and I'm already over my daily requirement. And that's not that much over, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay? I'd rather be a little bit over my protein than way over my carbohydrates, right? But I want to make that point that most of the time you get what you need by just eating food. Okay? I am not a small person. I have muscle, and I do not take any supplements, and I never have. Okay? Occasionally, if I don't have food, then I'll have some protein powder in a water bottle, or maybe a protein bar, but that's only in an emergency situation where I'm starving and I don't have actual food. I just don't regularly take supplements. I don't really want to rely on anything like that. I just want to do me, be an athlete, and be fine and not have to pay weird companies for weird products. Okay? So I just want to make that point. You don't really need supplements if you eat right. Okay? If you eat a ton of extra protein, like I've heard a couple rumors flying around, like, oh, I've been pounding protein shakes like it's going out of style. Cool. You're just wasting your money, because what happens is you either pee it out or it'll be converted to carbohydrates, which are stored as fat. Okay? and you just like pour money into the toilet, basically, is what you're doing, right? So be careful with supplements. Most of the time, you don't need it. I can talk about supplements if you guys want in a little bit.
Would you just say that as a high school athlete, supplements are really not supplemented?
I don't promote supplements at all. No. The only reason I have those Gatorade shakes in the fridge is because it's better than nothing for kids that don't have food right after a workout. And if it's right after a workout, they need that 20 grams, and that's perfectly proportioned in that supplement. That's a trusted source, so I think that's fine. But you don't need to be like, I don't advocate any other supplements really. What I do think is worthwhile is taking vitamins like vitamin D. Okay, I know in Colorado, everyone thinks it's a sunny state, so we get a lot of vitamin D, but actually, research has shown that even people that live here, most people are deficient in vitamin D, and that really affects your mood, but also your ability to recover, okay? So vitamin D is a really good one. Also iron, especially for females. Most women are anemic, I would say, especially endurance athletes. Your iron levels are really important. If you're gonna get tested for iron, if you just say I need my iron tested, they'll give you some number that means nothing. You have to say I want my ferritin levels tested. So if that's something that you want to know more about, you can ask me. I've been through that too, being anemic, and it makes you feel tired and lethargic all the time. Girls have their period every month. Their hormones change. Most of us are anemic. Yes. Anybody anemic? It means you're low in blood iron, and what that does is it slows down your body's ability to transport oxygen, and so it makes you feel really tired. So if you're like in a place where you're working really hard and you're frustrated that you're just like not making any improvements, it might be worthwhile to get your ferritin tested. Other questions about that? Okay, so vitamin D, iron supplements, okay, calcium supplements are always good, although ferritin, iron supplements and calcium supplements cancel each other out. So if you have a multivitamin that has both, it doesn't matter, you're not absorbing either one of them. So you just have to be mindful about the vitamins that you're taking. One more concern about protein supplements or supplements in general is that most of them are unregulated by the FDA, meaning they can have whatever they want in them. The only person held accountable to reporting what's in there is the manufacturer themselves, and they don't really stand to benefit from being honest with you. They just want you to buy their product, so they don't have to report everything that's in it. There's been several college athletes that have been kicked off their teams because they got caught with banned substances, even though it didn't list the banned substance on the label, and that sucks. Okay, it's not their fault, but it is their fault because they took a supplement and they didn't know that it was safe. So just don't, just like that. Why mess with it, right? La la la. Okay. The last one is fats. We just talked about a couple vitamins that are really important to your performance. You cannot absorb a lot of vitamins without fat. So I had a nutritionist in college that told me, absolutely put butter on your green beans because you need that fat to be able to absorb the benefit that you're getting from the green beans. I was like, oh, okay. That makes me feel a little bit happier about eating green beans, right? So you do need fat, absolutely. Most people think of gross things when we think of fat, but it's actually one of the most beneficial things. So these are things you should think about when you think about eating fat, okay? Unhealthy fats will clog your arteries, but healthy fats will clear them out again. They actually take the bad fat out, okay? Performance. Female athletes get 60% of their energy from fat, which means if you don't eat fat in your diet and you're a female athlete, are you super energetic? Are you performing very well? No, you're not. Okay? Recovery after long workouts, okay, is really, fat is really important for recovery, all right? Protects your organs from the outside elements. There's a layer of fat around all your organs, So literally you would die if you didn't have enough fat. Okay? And also, it's just really important for just, again, that recovery, feeling prepared, not feeling hungry all the time, and that kind of stuff. Okay. Alright. So some of the good ones that we should eat a lot of are olive oil on salads, avocados, nuts and seeds. These are really good fat sources. Fish have omega-3s. Those are all those fats that are unsaturated. They're liquid at room temperature, and they actually clear out the bad fats from your arteries. The saturated ones are the ones we just need to be mindful about. Those are the ones from animal products. Like I said before, it's not bad because those products also have a lot of protein in them, right? So it's not like it's bad to eat a steak, as long as you're also eating the unsaturated fats too. So it's okay if you eat bacon, it's okay if you eat hamburger, but you also need to be eating those healthy fats like olive oil, nuts and seeds, that kind of stuff, to make sure that you have a good balance. So these are the ones that we like. Okay. People freak out, avocados have so much fat, I can't eat too much guac. But it's actually really good fat for you, so eat a lot of it. I eat so many avocados, you guys. It's like it's going out of style. Okay. So these are fine. Just, don't just eat bacon as your fat source. Okay? Also eat the good stuff. Okay. I don't really care about this at all. Body mass index, because most of the measurements that we have are inaccurate. So if you've ever gotten your body fat tested and been disappointed, I come up as obese every time. Okay? So don't pay any attention to it unless it's the same person measuring you in the same method consistently throughout time. Then you can at least track gains and losses and have it be somewhat consistent. But if it's a different person testing you and it's a different method every time, it really is meaningless. Okay? I will give this to whoever is interested. Just text me or email me. But if you're interested more in learning about more supplements or performance enhancers, that kind of stuff, you can read about it. It's really interesting if you look at the NCAA one. What is illegal is amazing. Even caffeine supplements are illegal. So it's kind of crazy. Most things are illegal. Okay. All right. This is really important too. Whatever you want to change about your body, you have to know that there's things that you can control and there's things you absolutely can't, no matter how you try, how hard you try. Right? So whether you want to lose weight or gain weight, you have to know that there's some things you can and can't control. Your basal metabolic rate, okay, you can control through fitness training. You can change your metabolism based on your fitness. All right? Fat-free mass you can change based on your training. Are you in the weight room? Are you running? Are you, eating the right foods? Age, gender, and genetics you cannot control. Okay? I can't control my genetics as much as I'd like to be 5'11" like my mom and tall and skinny. I am not. Okay? I am more like this. Okay? And I can't, I tried to control that for a while and it didn't work. Because that's not me. This is me. This is where my body wants to be, and so I gotta work with it. Right? You definitely can control your nutrition. There's things about your hormones you can and can't control. Your food impacts your hormones. Okay? Life stressors and stuff also affects your hormones, and you can't control some of that stuff. All right? The amount, duration, and intensity of your physical activity, you can control that too. Right? So know what you can and can't control. Don't get frustrated about the stuff you can't control. It's a waste of time. Okay? Gaining lean muscle mass, it matters how you do it. So my doctor, when I was in the hospital, gave me really, really bad advice. He looked at me and he said, I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you eat 17 cheeseburgers every day. I just want you to gain weight. Okay? That was the worst thing he could have told me. First of all, I was anorexic. The thought of eating 17 cheeseburgers a day made me want to run and jump off a cliff. Okay? That is not good advice. You have to be smart about what you put in your body. When you're trying to gain weight, you shouldn't add more than 500 calories a day. That's not very much. That's maybe adding like a couple tablespoons of peanut butter and maybe a couple extra scoops of guacamole to your dinner. Maybe a little extra meat in your meal. Okay, it's not a huge amount. So you don't need to pound 17 protein shakes to gain weight. All right? Kind of calculate that out, right? An avocado and a couple tablespoons of peanut butter, I'm already at my 500 calories. That's not that much. Okay? In general, eating larger portion sizes, maybe increasing how frequently you eat, snacking throughout the day, healthy snacks, choosing calorie-dense foods. So not eating 7 bowls of Life cereal, that would make you feel gross. Okay? But eating things that don't make you feel super full but have a lot of calories and nutrition packed in them, like avocados, peanut butter, almond butter, those nuts and seeds I was talking about before, dairy products, meat products, that kind of thing. Okay? And then overfeeding protein. Okay, so instead of eating that 1.6 like I was before, now I'm eating up to 2 grams. So maybe for me, I'd eat up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight a day. And then the opposite. First of all, losing weight is a mental thing. It can become quickly out of control, so you have to be careful about it. All right? It's always best if you're working with somebody who knows what they're doing. That can, 1, hold you accountable, 2, help you through it and be a support system, and 3, make sure your head's on straight and that you don't get out of control with it. Don't try to lose weight by yourself. It usually doesn't work, and it can quickly get into your head. Okay, always have somebody that knows what they're doing helping you out with that. Whether it's a nutritionist, that'd be the best, or some sort of therapist. Okay. Here's a great point too. It's not about appearance. It's really about your performance and how you feel. And do your best to keep that in your brain. How you eat, it's just not how you look. It's how you feel and how you're performing and what your body can do. Is your body able to do what you want it to be able to do? Do you feel how you want to feel when you're doing it? Then you're probably doing just fine. Sometimes people have had bad nutrition for so long that they don't know how it feels to feel good. And that's where people like coaches and nutritionists and therapists can help you. Let's help you feel what it feels like to feel good, and then you're never going to want to go back. Because it feels good, right? Yeah. One technique, I guess, to increase your lean muscle mass and lose body fat is reduce your simple carbohydrates. We're not eliminating it. Remember, that's the death diet. Reduce your carbohydrates. Then your body becomes reliant on fat as a fuel source, and it will start burning fat more quickly. Okay, so that is something that I have actually used, and it's worked for me. Again, I eat carbohydrates. I just eat them in the form of complex carbohydrates and vegetables, a little bit of simple carbohydrates, but not very much, and I overfeed protein to an extent. Okay. Same rules apply here. You're not going to reduce your calorie intake by more than 500 calories a day. Again, that's not that much. So you're not going to just all of a sudden, floop, I'm not going to eat breakfast, or I'm not going to eat lunch, or I'm not going to eat anything. That's not going to work. Okay? It might work for a very short period of time, but it will not work, and you certainly will see a decrease in your performance if you don't abide by this rule, right? You'll see that this number jumped up even more for an athlete who's trying to lose fat. Now you're up to 2.7 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. So a lot of you, that's more than you're used to. I would say most of our high school athletes do not eat enough protein in their normal food. Okay? They eat a lot of carbohydrates, but they don't eat very much protein. Okay. Anybody ever felt like that? You get home from practice, you've been at school for 12, probably today 14 hours, okay? and you are just ravenous. And you feel like this wolf who is ready to devour anything in your path. I used to get so mad at my mom because she'd make me take a shower before we ate dinner. And I got home and I was like, you don't understand. I'm gonna eat my own hand. And what do you do when you feel like that? You open the cupboard and you're like, well, I don't even care what it is. Okay? And so if there's something in there that seems appealing, usually what we crave most when we're in this place is carbohydrates. And I know for me that's true. If there are cookies on the counter, they're gone. There's a bag of chips in the cupboard, it's gone. Like, I just ate a whole bag of chips. Oh. Okay? But who can blame me? Because my body is depleted and I have to give it what it needs to rebuild the muscle tissue that I've just throttled in my workout. You're literally tearing your muscles apart when you're at practice. The tools your muscles need to rebuild themselves stronger are protein. Okay? So you have to be ready for this. And you have to stock your gym bag, your locker, your car, and your cupboards with something good to fuel yourself with right when you're done. Because if you don't, you're going to go home and you're not going to care. You're just going to inhale whatever's there. And then you're going to feel sick. And then you're not going to actually eat the good dinner that hopefully somebody prepared for you. Okay? So, again, we want to feel good. We want to recover well. So you have to be smart and plan for that. Bring a snack. Don't be this angry wolf when you get home. Okay? Really, really easy things to modify or replace. Okay? I have some adult things up there too. So this is for you too, adults. Okay? Replace beverages like those. Okay? With water, milk, fizzy water, iced tea. Stuff that doesn't have as much just pure liquid sugar that you're just dumping into your blood. Okay? Like I said before, I reduced my fruit a lot. And instead of eating low fiber fruit, I eat high fiber fruit. So fruit that has more fiber in it, you can get charts that show you like the ones that have more fiber in them. That have a lot of vitamins. I eat berries sometimes because they have fiber. And they also are like superfoods. So in my opinion, there's more pros than cons. So I eat them. Okay? These are some of them that have they have more fiber, less sugar. These are some of them that are really, really high in sugar and not very much fiber. Okay? So even just like switching it up can help. All right? Replace like white bread, cereal and pasta, and white rice with things like wheat bread, oatmeal, vegetables, wild rice, like that long grain stuff they have to soak in water for a long time, and potatoes. Simple switches. They're still carbohydrates, they just break down slower. Okay? And replace some of these snacks that you know aren't that great, you've always known they're not that great. Okay? With stuff that's better. Go to Costco, buy some trail mix, not the trail mix that's mostly M&Ms. Okay? And everybody always just eats the M&Ms, and they said, oh, I had trail mix. Yeah. Okay? Cheese. I eat snap peas a lot because they're easy, and they're still kind of sweet, and they kind of taste good. Peanut butter. Those little mini peppers, you could dip them in hummus, okay, and eat them. They're pretty good. I eat a lot of guacamole, okay? You can dip anything in guacamole too. Peppers, whatever. Sweet potato fries, anything. Okay? Dice up some chicken, take that with you. When I'm in a pinch, sometimes I buy those like tuna packets, which I know don't taste that great, but whatever, they're healthy. And sometimes I make granola bars, and those pretty good. Alright? Doesn't have to be crazy. Just little simple changes. Okay? Nothing happens overnight, so anything that's worthwhile takes time, and this is where a lot of people falter, right? They're like, okay, but all week I ate so well. Cool. Your body takes a long time to make physiological changes, okay? Just like if you worked out hard for a week, it's not like all of a sudden you'd be an Olympian, right? It takes time. So you have to be patient. regardless of what your goals are, you have to give yourself some time, and you really do have to be consistent, right? If you eat super well and you have, I hate this term, the cheat day, okay, every Saturday, well, I don't know, that might not work. If your cheat day is like all day, you eat whatever you want, you kind of set yourself up for failure for the rest of the week. So you just kind of have to be careful with it, right? And if you try anything too fast, whether you're gaining weight or losing weight too fast, you're gonna feel tired, fatigued, lethargic. Sometimes you can even lose muscle, and you're definitely gonna see a decrease in your performance, which is not what any of us wants. Okay? All right. We can talk about supplements and illegal substances if you guys are interested in it. But here's an example of I just literally thought about, okay, when I go to King Soopers or Walmart or wherever, what do I get? And this is what I get, probably every time, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, eating healthy is more expensive. I noticed at the end of this month, I have like $10 to my name right now. It's awesome. We're almost getting paid though, I'm full now. I was like, I hope my gas tank makes it. So if you see me walking from Wellington, you'll know why. It is more expensive to eat well. It's just a sacrifice I'm willing to make. As a woman, I don't go get my hair done very often. I don't get my nails done very often. I don't buy new clothes very often. But I do buy really good food. And that's just something that I've decided is important to me. So I'm not going to lie and say it's really cheap to cook your own food. It's actually not. But it's cheaper in the long run, right? If you can keep yourself happy and healthy and operating well and out of the PT office, out of the therapist's office, out of the doctor's office, right? Then I think it's worth it. So be prepared to maybe spend a little bit more money on high quality food, but I would argue that it's worth it. And if you ever need help with that, I know that Poudre High School is so supportive and will help you. So if you're at a point where you literally can't afford good food and your option is, whatever those little soup things are, top ramen, okay? Or Wonder Bread sandwiches just smushed together, okay? Making soup out of ketchup packets. If that's you, then you need to talk to me or you need to talk to somebody here because we'll help you out. We'll make it better for you. So you will get help. Promise. Okay? So that's just kind of an example of my options. For me, lunch is always the hardest one because it's on the fly. And the easiest thing to do and what kids mostly do is go out. So as an athlete, you kind of have to say, well, what's worth it to me to be a good performer and to feel good at practice? Do I really need to go to, I don't know, where do people go? Wendy's, Cosmos, whatever, and fill my gut with stuff that's gonna explode? Or do I just bring leftovers from dinner last night? Or do I prepare my lunch at home and bring it? Go out maybe once a week. It's gotta be important to you, otherwise you're not gonna do it. I will tell you though that the best place to go probably, in terms of fast food, the one I always pick is Qdoba. Because you can get,
I knew it.
but not the smothered burrito with queso.
Dang. Bro, I just did a whole
When I'm at my best, I do prepare meals, but I don't want to take up my whole weekend to do it, so I just take leftovers from dinner. I purposely make extra and bring leftovers. So that's easy. We have microwaves at school, I'm not that picky anymore, I just eat it cold, I don't care. Okay? But, you're gonna do what you need to do. Okay? Here's some really simple guidelines. Number 1, eat real food. If you just did this one, avoided packages, and didn't have any trash in your trash can, it's so funny to look at my trash can. I didn't even put it out this week because there's no trash in it. I don't eat anything with a wrapper, so most of my trash is like recycling stuff. Alright? You're probably gonna be great if you just do that. You're probably fine. Alright? Prepare well, have snacks ready. Don't be that hungry wolf. Don't let yourself go there. It doesn't feel good to anybody. Okay? Enjoy your food. If you feel like you're at a place where you can't go out and eat with people without feeling weird about it, you need to talk to me. You need to get some help with that. You should just be able to enjoy your food. Okay? Focus on how you feel and how you perform. Don't worry about how you look. Okay? Doesn't matter how you look. It matters how you feel and how you perform. And if you struggle, welcome to the club. Most people do. That's why you need help. I read a quote recently that says if your dreams are so small that you don't need any help to achieve them, then your dreams are way too small. Right? You need help. I need help. I got help from a lot of people. I went to therapy. I went to a nutritionist. Right? I figured it out. And I'm good. Okay? And I'll still get help from people. But I'm telling you right now, you're just gonna need help along the way, and that's good. That means your dreams are big and you're willing to go chase after them. Okay, and this is an essential piece of the puzzle. Don't wait, get some help. Here at PHS, we've got some snacks ready for you most of the time for post-workout. So if you're ever hungry at school, come talk to me and we'll get you covered. Okay, we've got some PBJs, some yogurt, some products ready for you in a pinch. Okay, we always accept donations for that. So as a parent, if you want to donate to our snack storage, we'll always accept that. Yeah.
What's the yellow crustable?
Thank you.
Looks as if it's a peanut butter and honey. I don't know.
Did you tell him we're going back?
Apparently I need to find the And last but not least, I really want to leave you with this take-home message because I have struggled with everything about food. I've struggled with not recovering well and being injured a lot because my nutrition sucked. I've struggled with obviously the not eating part and the mental side of that and how devastating that was on a large part of my life that was really important to me, my athletic career, right? But I want to encourage you because I am living proof that you don't have to struggle with that forever. I don't think about it. It's not a life suck to me anymore. I just live and I eat and I do what I need to do and I work out and I love it and it's good and that's what I want for you. So it's not a life suck. It can really transform your life in a powerful way once you get it figured out. And once you feel what it feels like to be a healthy, powerful, resilient human being. We just got to get you to feel it once and then you're never going to want to go back. Okay? Do we have any questions for me? Please, somebody ask me a question.
Best post snack.
Yeah.
For somebody who is
Post-workout
allergic.
snack.
Oh.
Is it only peanuts or is it all nuts?
But is it only peanuts? Or is it all nuts? So let's just say all nuts.
Okay, so another protein carbohydrate source. So the chocolate milk one is actually a really good one. Okay. Granola bar that has protein in it as well. That's not nuts, right? Let's see. I once had a granola bar. It was disgusting. It was cricket powder. I didn't know it, and I was like, "What is this?" And I read the ingredients. It was like powdered crickets. I wouldn't advise that one. But like even like carrots and hummus. Like hummus has protein in it, or string cheese or yogurt or something like that with some trail mix. Anything like that. Other questions? Yeah.
So I'm thinking like competition. What's the best thing? Like you say like
Pre-competition.
yeah, pre-competition. So
Pre-comp.
30 minutes or 20 minutes.
Good.
Obviously not right before you go to the floor. But
Yeah, so it's different for everybody, it's depending on how you feel, but generally a couple hours before you compete, you want to eat like a small meal. Maybe that's a half a sandwich and a banana or, whatever it is that you normally eat. You don't want to go completely different from normal. But then like 30 minutes before, it's okay to sip on some Gatorade, maybe have some energy chews, maybe half a banana or half of a power bar or something like that. Just something that absorbs quickly. Those simple carbohydrates are for pre-competition when you want that quick burst of energy. Yeah.
I feel like during halftime.
Same thing. Those simple carbohydrates, quick bursts of energy. If you're not hungry, you just need a little bit of something. Gatorade's really good for that. But if it's feeling like your stomach is rumbling, then you want to get a couple bites of something in you, like a granola bar or something like that. Yeah. Good questions. Keep it coming. Good. Even if you lose 1 to 2 pounds of your body weight at the end of exercise due to the sweat that you've lost, it can decrease your athletic performance like 10 to 30%. That's a lot. Think about a race. 10% in a race. That's
not a lot.
That's a lot. That's like the difference between.
Oh, we're going to talk about giving 10%.
Definitely a win and loss. No, like your performance decreases. Yeah, you're 10% less capable. Yeah.
On average, how much should like high school students eat or calorie wise?
Calorie wise, so it also depends on the sport and the human that we're talking about. They say that the general guideline is that 2,000 to 3,000 mark, but there's some athletes, I eat more than 3,000 calories a day, and I would have to, when I'm training, probably not right now, but when I'm actually seriously training, I eat more. So it's more about finding what range they're best at and what makes them feel like they're not hungry, they're not like starving all the time, and they're functioning the way they want to. It's tricky because there's not really that magic number. It's really gonna be different for everyone. I would pay more attention to like grams of protein, carbohydrate than I would calories, personally. Yeah.
So like after like a big football game, do you want to eat like a lot of food after, or just like small?
After a competition, right when you're done, you just need something. 20 grams of protein within 30 minutes. But then you do need to eat a normal meal afterwards, and it's okay if you eat a big meal. You don't want to like make yourself feel sick, because that's not good either, but it's okay to eat a big hamburger and, celebrate a little bit. And I always ate ice cream after my big competitions. Yeah.
I have
That's
a question.
fun.
So we're feeding our kids 2 hours before the game. What should we be feeding them?
Yeah, good question. If it's a couple hours before the game, you want kind of a normal meal, like a good blend of carbohydrates, proteins. You don't want super heavy on the fats and proteins, because it takes a long time to digest those, and it takes a lot of energy to digest those, and they typically sit in your gut for a long time.
Okay.
So the protein sources would be leaner. In that case, I wouldn't eat a big fatty hamburger. I would eat maybe some lean chicken breast or something like that, or a turkey sandwich or something like that.
Cool.
Rather than something really hard to digest. That's heavy. Yeah. More carbohydrates than protein like that. Yeah.
Is there a way for us to access